Hi and welcome. My name is Ekimini Robert. In this video, I'll be taking you through the WordPress dashboard, that is your WordPress environment, showing you all you need to know and how you can make use of it to work on your website. Now, many people give up before they even get started. They look at the WordPress environment, they see all the options, and they're like, oh no, I cannot do this. This totally will never work. Now, wait a sec. That is the wrong way of looking at it. Now, think of it like it was with your smartphone. Now consider how it was the first time you were using your smartphone. You didn't just become an expert on using the smartphone the first day, and you definitely did not give up on using the smartphone because there were so many options in there. Now for every smartphone there are like thousands of settings, right? Do you give up on that? No. And it's the same way you approach your website, it's the same way you approach your WordPress dashboard. With a smartphone, you pick it up and you're like looking at the important things. How do I make a call? How do I turn on the camera to take a picture? How do I do a video? And then how do I message someone if you want to send a text message? Just the important things. How do I turn on data to use the internet for browsing? Where are the browsers? And then the social media apps. Where is Facebook? Where is WhatsApp? Where is Instagram? Where is TikTok? And if I don't have these apps, how do I download them from the app store? And then you get to learn about these things, and in no time you become a pro. You see that everything is just so good and easygoing, and you can make use of your smartphone. Now it's the same thing with your WordPress dashboard. Now there are a lot of options, and I can tell you that there are options there that you will never touch, and that is just how it is. So you don't look at it and say, there are too many options, and that's what this video is for. In this video, I'll show you everything about your WordPress dashboard, what you need to know. How do you write an article and publish it? How do you add an image to the article? How do you add a video to the article? How do you do all those things, and then all the options, pages, comment section. If someone drops a comment on your website, how do you moderate it? How do you, maybe if it's a bad comment, how do you delete it? And then if you want someone to write for you on your website, how do you add this person without giving them the wrong privileges, so that they don't end up taking over your website from you? But how do you add someone safely so that they can just write for you on your website, and then in the end you pay them and they go? And it's just that easy. So those are the things that you need to know to learn, and in this video we're going to take you through all of that easy peasy. So you get in a car, you drive your car. You don't do everything in the car. Even fixing the car, that's not your job to do. If it spoils, you take it to the mechanic, and then that happens. Simply because you can't do everything in the car doesn't mean that you stop yourself from using the car. No, you learn the car, you learn how to drive day by day, and then you get to know what you need to know. So it's the same thing with your WordPress dashboard, and in this video I'll be taking you through everything you need to know step by step, easy peasy. Now, and if there is anything that you would want me to do specifically, maybe there is something I did too fast you didn't notice, or maybe there is a specific item on the dashboard that you would want to know more about, like maybe plugins, make a video on plugins, or make a video on how to install themes, or make a video on this, just drop a comment in the comment section and I will make a video for you. Especially for those watching on YouTube, drop a video in the comment section and I'll make that video for you. And if there is anything you would want to learn, maybe you were watching the video, you didn't quite get something, drop a comment in the drop your request in the comment section and I will respond to you as soon as I can. All right, each and every one of us, we all had something that we were doing for the first time, so I'm here to guide you through the things that you need to know about your WordPress dashboard, so you can get your website to do whatever you want it to do for you. All right, are you ready? Okay, so let's just get started. Now, the first option that you have is the WordPress admin bar. All right, so this is a WordPress admin bar. It actually has the options that you need. First is your website. Looking at this, you can actually visit your website from this position, and this displays your website name. And so your admin bar actually shows up when you log into WordPress. Now, if you go to your website, let me just visit our website right now, so you can see that because I am logged in, this admin bar shows up right at the top here. This happens when you are logged in into your WordPress dashboard. So what you have here is these are quick links to get you to the WordPress.org platform. The next one shows up your name, the name of your website name, and it gives you a quick way to get to your dashboard, to get to the themes area, to get to the widgets or the menu. And then the next one, what you have right there is the customize button. So if you want to make changes to the look and feel of your website, this is the button that you want to make use of. Now, a quick thing that you must take note of here is that I rarely use these options here on the admin panel, right? I rarely use the options on this bar, but just to let you know what this stands for, this is the comment icon. So clicking on that button will take you to the comment section where you can moderate and actually reply to comments that are posted on your website. Right here you can add a new post, or you could add a new media, or you could add a new page, or you could add a new user. We will talk more about these options in this video. Now, the next thing you can find here is the edit page option. So just in case you want to edit this page you are looking at right now, the page you are on right now, you can always do it from here. And this is the an option that is from your theme company. Now, the theme we are using on this website is the Neve theme from Theme.io. So they have this option. Now, depending on the theme you're using, you may or may not see the show hooks option right at the top here. Right now, this is what you see because you are logged into WordPress. Now, if someone who is not logged into your website were to visit, they won't have this admin bar right at the top there. They won't have that admin bar right at the top there. So I'll just go ahead and open an incognito tab. So let's see what that website looks like. All right, so I'll go ahead and visit this website in an incognito tab, and this is what it looks like. Okay, now you do not have the admin bar at the top right there. All right, so let's just continue to other options on your dashboard. Now, once you log into your WordPress dashboard, you have a quick overview of some of the important things that are going on in your WordPress website. So there are a lot of things you can do from here. Now, this is showing you your site health. It's telling you the state of your WordPress website, and at a glance here you can find the number of articles you have posted on your website, the number of pages, and the number of comments you have, the theme you're running. And it also tells us that and then there's a comment in moderation, meaning you should do something about it. Either you send it to spam, you trash it, or you can go ahead and approve it to show up on your website. You'll learn more about this as you go. Now we have actually discouraged search engines from crawling pages on this website. Why? Because we're still in the process of setting it up, so we don't want search engines picking up a website that is under construction. So these are the things that you can find on this overview area. These are the posts, recently published posts you have on your website, recent comments, and these are WordPress events that might interest you. So this is what you have right here. I rarely look at this twice. All right, I've used WordPress for some time now, so whenever I come down here, I just go to what I want to do, whatever tab or option that I want to use. I'll just go straight there and make use of it. So don't get intimidated by all the options right here. There are a lot of things here that you will never touch again ever. All right, and there are a lot of things that you're going to use once a month. Some you use them once in a week, and so that's just that. So don't let all the options available here intimidate you. You just need to know what they can do for you, so that whenever you want to make use of them, you can always do that. Now the next thing you have here is the updates tab. This is where you go to update your themes and your plugins. Now I do not update my plugins from here, right? If I want to update my plugins, I just go straight to the plugins tab and work on that. But you can also do it from here. You can update your themes from here. When you have plugins that you need to update, they will show up here and themes will show up right there. And if you have a new version of WordPress that you need to update, you can always do that you need to install on your website. You can do that right here, but I recommend that you set it to install itself right when it comes along. All right, you can do that with your hosting company. They can set it up for you such that once there is an update, your website will automatically switch to the latest version of WordPress. That's what I do for all my websites. But while you set updates to happen automatically, you should also set your website to back up itself regularly, because some updates can actually make some changes to your website that would cause it to malfunction or crash. So you want to make sure that your website is also scheduled to take backups regularly. You could do that with a plugin, or you can just do it with your hosting company. Now the other thing that you'll find here is the post option. This will show you all the posts you have on your website, but the ones that have been published and the ones that are in the draft and are not yet published. Here you can add a new post to your website, and here you can actually manage the categories that you have on your page. Here you can manage the tags, and I'll say more about this in a little bit. So I'll just go ahead and visit the all post section first. So here you are. This is the all post section, and then you have all your posts listed right in there. Now depending on the plugins that you have used on your website, you may just have more options than what you have here. You may just have more columns. This is the author. It shows you who wrote an article. Actually, this can be changed inside the post, and these are categories. What category is this content, is this post actually assigned to? For example, this has been assigned to the content creation category, and then there is a tag for that article. This shows you the number of comments and the on that post. Now this red here shows that there is one comment that is awaiting moderation, so I need to check that and maybe approve it or delete it from the website. This shows you the date and time that the article was actually published. And so from right here, if you want to edit a post from here, you can go ahead and click that button, and you will edit a post from right there. And this is a quick edit button, so whenever you want to make changes, some simple changes to a post like the title, but you don't want to open up the entire content, you can do it here. You can change the URL, the slug. From here you can change the publish date. From there you can actually add a password to it, and or you could make it private so it's not open to everybody, just you or a select few people. You can update tags, you can add or remove tags. You could use that comma, and then you add something like blog post, something like that. So you have to separate your tags with the comma. You could decide to allow or block comments. So if you go ahead and uncheck that, if you uncheck that, it will block comments. You could allow pingbacks. This happens when somebody links back to your website and wants to ping you, just to show you that they've added a link to your website. Now you can always make this sticky such that it stays at the top irrespective of the date that it was published. And then you can add or remove categories from right there. So if you uncheck that, it will remove that category from this article. So I just want to leave that checked, and then once I'm done, I can just go ahead and update the article. All right, so that is what the quick edit button does. And here you can delete this post by trashing it right there. You can also view this post using this button. So if I go ahead and right click that and click on the open in the new tab, this is what will happen. So it will just open up this page. It will just open up this page for me. So I'll just go ahead and go back right there. So right here you can edit a post. This means that right here you can edit a post where you have already published and you want to make changes to it. Maybe you want to update the post. You can use this button. Now notice that the the tags I added are now showing up. Now here's a new tag I added, and it's now showing up. So those are the things that you can do from right here. So quickly, we'll just go ahead to the next option, which is the add new post. So if you have a new blog post that you want to publish, you have new content that you want to put on your website, you should go ahead and use this add new button. You can either use this one or you use this. They all are going to take you to the same place on your WordPress website. It actually opens up an environment where you can add new posts or articles to your WordPress website. So this is what the edit post page looks like. So from right here you can add a title. This is what the edit post page looks like. So from right here you can add a title to your you can add a title of the post you want to write about. Let me just do something like right, so that could be your title. So right here, this is where you can add a post to your WordPress website. You add a title there, and then you add the content there. I'm not sure how that sounds, but I think that will have to do. So this is where you can add content to a page on your website. And another thing you can do right here is that you can add an image. Now what I just use now with WordPress, what you use are blocks. This right here is a paragraph block. This is why it allows you to add a text. So if I go ahead and click on that and use the enter key, I can give myself another paragraph, or I can decide that I'm not going to use a paragraph. I want to use something else. I want to use a block. So what a block actually helps you do is that it helps you to add all kinds of elements to your post page. You can add videos, you can add images, you can add all kinds of elements with a WordPress block. So I just want to add an image to this article. So what I want to do is you use this add block icon. I'll click on that, and then I'll look for just what I want to add. So you can add a heading, you can add an image, you can add an accordion, spacer, a social icon, or a paragraph. So let's just see. The first thing you want to do here is, okay, let me just add an image to this, and let's see what that looks like. So once I click on that, let me just back that up, do that a little bit so you can see that. So if I go ahead, select that. Now there's two ways that you can actually add another block to this post. But let's use this plus icon and just go ahead. So once you click on that plus icon, it's going to open up a lot of blog items here that you can pick from. So using this browse all, you can see a lot of other options. Now this is added by an external plugin, so this does not come built into WordPress. This accordion is a function of an external plugin. So this is why we say that a plugin actually extends the functionality of your WordPress website. Okay, so with a plugin can actually add something to your WordPress list of blocks that will make your website do what it normally couldn't do with the built-in functions. So right here, I just want to add an image to this block, to this article that I am creating. I'll just click on the image option, and then I have three options here. I can upload an image directly from my computer or phone, and I can also get it from the media library. The media library is where WordPress actually keeps all the content, all the images that you upload to all the media files, like images, ebooks, and the rest that you upload to your WordPress media, right? So, and then you can also add an image using a URL. So if you have a URL of an image, you could just use this option, paste it there, and WordPress will convert it to an image and show it on your website. Now with the media library, if you click on that, it's just going to open up all the images that you have on that WordPress website. So the media library actually shows up every single image that has ever been uploaded to your WordPress website, right? So these are the images I have in this media, on the media library for this website. So I can always pick any of these images and display them on my website. Once I select an image, I go ahead and click on the select button, and then it will automatically add that image to my website. So let me just quickly upload an image from my website. Let's see what that looks like. Click on that, come to image, and then I'll use the upload button, and then it will take me into my into the file explorer on my computer, and then I can pick any of the images that I want to add to this website. If I click on that and then I click on the open button, this could be slightly different if you're using a different kind of computer or if you're using a smartphone, but it most likely is going to work the same way. So this is an image I have added to my WordPress a post on my WordPress excuse me. And so I can go ahead and resize this image quickly. I could go ahead and I can center it. You could align it center, you can align it right, you could do all sorts of things with it. Full width means that it's going to just cover up everywhere. It won't leave any spaces behind. So let me just align it, let me just center it, reduce that to that, and then there is a preview button here such that whatever changes you make to your WordPress post, you can actually preview it and look at what it looks like before you actually publish it. All right, so this is what this looks like. So I can add more content and more images to this article. I can always add, I could even add a YouTube video and lots of other kinds of videos to this WordPress post right here. So all you do, select that and then look for what you want to look for. There is a search bar here that you can use. So I'll just go ahead and type YouTube there. If I click on that, I can actually pick a video on YouTube and embed it on my website by simply copying the link and to that YouTube video and pasting it into this website. Right, so that is that, but let's just go over a few of the options that we have here. Once you place an image into WordPress, you want to add an alt text to that image so that search engines know and people with visual impairments can actually have their artificial intelligence softwares read what the image is about to them. So I'll just go ahead and say young. I could just say so I could go ahead and enter that. Now there are a lot of options that you can use on WordPress. So I could decide to round this image, make it look like that. So I could decide to round that image. Let me just, I'm just go ahead. I just want to increase the height. So let me just do 313 right there. I want to go ahead, select that, enter it 313 so that we can have a perfect circle right there. But that's not what I want to do. Oh, I don't like that. I want this back to default. So just in case you make a mistake, there is the undo button right here. So I'll just go ahead and undo the changes I made. I'll undo that. All right, so it's back to what I want it to be. And there are a lot of options here. So if you want to see all the blocks that you can make use of in your WordPress website, you could go ahead. Let me just close that and do that again. Click on this button and it will show you all the blocks, all the different items that you can make use of on a post that you're making. And then you can decide to save this post to draft. So you don't want to publish this post right now, you can always save it to draft or preview the post, see what it would look like on a tablet, on a mobile device, and you can always do that before publishing. And then this is where you can edit the URL. Now, if you add an SEO plugin to your website, it can help you edit the URL on in a different way. But for now, with the default WordPress setup, you can edit the URL from here. That's the link to your post. You can stick it to the top, or do all kinds of things with it. Now there is post here, and there is the block option here. If I go ahead and select this image, now it takes me to the block option, which helps me make changes to this image only. And when I click on post, everything I do in the post area affects the entire post and not just one single block. All right, so here's the categories. Here are the category. Just before then, there is the author session. So you say you have more than one author on a website, you can actually come down here to pick which author you want to use for a blog post. This is really helpful when people have written content for you, and then you now need to publish that on your website with your own name. Let's say they wrote the content with their login details, then you can come into your WordPress website and then use your name to publish that content that you have outsourced. And this is where you can select a category for your WordPress post. Categories are good in actually giving structure to your website. You don't want your post to be scattered everywhere. You want to put specific content in specific categories on your blog, so that if someone wants content about dogs, they can just go ahead, visit the category, and they will find all the content on dogs, probably on training, probably on relating with the dog. You can always segment your content and then add them to the necessary category. So you can always add a new category to your page, say monetization, and that is monetization. You can always add that, and once I'm done with that, I'll just do the add category, and then that will be added as a new category on this website. This is where you add tags like so once you write down the tag that you want to add, you just go ahead, hit the enter key, and then it will give you a space to put in another tag. And this is where you add the featured image. Now notice that this website right here has no featured image. This is why you have this blank area right there. So I'll just go ahead and add a featured image to that article. So let me just use the image of the rabbit here. I should just add an alt text there, remove that, add a real title, add a description, and then I'll just set the featured image. Now let me just go ahead and preview the post, see what it looks like. Right, so now we have a featured image on the post, and then the tags show up just down below, the categories up here, and that is that. So there's a lot you can do with WordPress, and doing that it's actually easy. You could decide to add an excerpt, allow comments or disallow comments. There's a lot you can do here. You can uncheck that to disallow comments and have it checked to allow comments. Do the same for pickbacks and trackbacks, and that is that. So up here, now this button actually works for your WordPress settings. The default WordPress settings is what you have with this button. So if you unselect that, it will actually clear out that the WordPress tools that you're supposed to have here. And this is for the OTA plugin. So depending on the kind of plugins you have on your website, you can actually come here to make settings, to edit the settings for that plugin. And this it has a direct effect on your post. All right, so this, now you can come here and then make changes. I rarely touch plugins here that I've added to my website, except for something like the SEO plugins and the rest. So depending on what you're using a plugin for, you may need to have to make changes to it while you are editing an article. And this is for the need theme that we are making use of. All right, so if I go ahead and click on that, I can actually make changes to how this content is going to be displayed. And there are a lot of things you can do here. There are a lot of things. Add author avatar, align the title left, right, center, and all of that. And you can always change everything back to the default setting with that button. So that's right about everything about the WordPress post session. So as you get to use WordPress, you will learn a lot more on how to make use of these options and even more. But basically, those are the things that you really want to know. So I'll just go ahead and publish this article. Once you click on the publish article button, once you select that button, you'll see a summary of what you should have. Should this be public or private, or should you protect it with a password? I like to leave that at publish. You can schedule a WordPress article to automatically publish itself at a certain time and date, and this is where you come to do that. Say let's just assume that I'm done with this article, but I don't want to publish it right away. I just want to make sure it's published whenever it wants to publish. Say tomorrow morning by 4 a.m. By that time, I'm probably not yet up, or maybe on Saturday by maybe 7 days from now. I can just go ahead and do that. Today's Monday. Just set it to Sunday. Give it a time, AM, PM, depending on the time, and then I'll just go ahead and schedule it to publish when it is supposed to. All right, so that's that. So whenever that day and time comes, this article will be published, and I won't need to move a finger. Right, so whenever that date and time comes, this article will be published, and I don't even have to be there to know what's going on. This will just show up on my website, and people can actually access it. So that's that about the WordPress post. So I'll go ahead and go back to the dashboard. So that's how to add a new post to your WordPress. These are the categories. In the category section, you can always add a category, and you can also delete categories. Then you can also give descriptions to category pages. You could also change the slug for the category. So let's say I want to edit this content creation category, and this is what I can do with it. Does it have a parent category? You can set a parent category for all your categories, and I can add a description to each of the categories. I do add descriptions to my categories because it helps with the search. It helps with SEO, and then the same thing works for tags also. Now, some of these things you rarely come back to them, but it's just for you to know how they work. This is the name of the tag, the slug, the description, same thing as a category. And here you have the media library. People rarely come to the media library just to add media. All right, so it rarely happens. So like unless you've already selected like say 6 to 10 images that you want to use for a particular blog post, people rarely come here. people just decide to add images directly into their upload images directly into their articles. Not just images, you can add PDFs, you can add audio files, you can also add you can also embed videos. So people most times I just use upload images directly to my WordPress blog post, but sometimes you can decide to upload images to your media library and just leave them there for whenever you want to use it on a blog post. Image or images or a lot of files, PDFs, and whatever you want to do, you can do that by adding them to your media library. And then there is the pages section. Now what some people are kind of confused between pages and posts. Now they're quite similar. Now having a page and the way you work with a page, what you do on a page and what you do on a post is quite similar. It's quite similar. I'll just go ahead and add a page here for you to see what a page looks like. And you'll see that it doesn't have any real, for you to see what a page looks like, and you'll see that there is no real difference between a page and a post. All right, so this is this everything that you have for posts, you also have them for pages. So I'll just go ahead and go back. We don't have to make any changes to that, but the difference is that pages are more of these static websites that you use for things like the about me, the contact, a unique blog page, and you use that for your home page, privacy policy, and all of those pages that rarely change. And then another thing about pages is that they do not show up on your blog page. Right now, this is a blog page, so the only kind of content that show up here are posts from your articles you have added using the post option. Right, so whatever you use with a page, whatever you create with a page, you most likely want to use that, add that link to your menu or to a blog page, or probably use a plugin, probably use a plugin to have it show up on your website, like wherever you want it to show up. So pages are kind of static and rigid. You don't use that quite often unless you have a specific purpose for it. But with blog posts like this, whenever you add a new post, it's just going to show up here right in your list of recently published articles, just like that. So that's the difference between page and a post. Now otherwise, every other thing is just the same way you edit a blog post, it's the same way you edit a page. So now that we are done working with pages, the next thing that we want to talk about is comments. So this is the comments section, and this is where you come to see the comments that have been dropped on your website, and you can work with your comments here. You can decide to this is where you moderate comments. You can decide to approve comments or delete them, send them to trash. Now Google has told us that as the owner of the website, you are directly responsible for all the content on that website, including user-generated content, and comment obviously is user-generated. This is content created by your users on your website and not by you. So Google is saying that you are directly responsible for the content on your website. So just in case you have a website for children and someone comes in there and drops adult content in the comment section, now if that goes to show up there, you will be held responsible for what is going on your website. That is why when we are setting up websites for the first time, we set comments to be held in moderation, be held up, so that we can moderate them before they show up on the website. You just don't want to set. People make a mistake. They set up websites and then the comment is not moderated. Whatever someone drops on the website shows up live right there and then on their website, and this is not what you want to do. So if you need a link to the video that actually shows you how to set up your WordPress website properly for the first time, I will leave a link in the description. Okay, so let's just continue. Now some people actually do not know which comments they should approve and the ones that they should trash. So we are going to look into that in a bit. On the left hand side right here, you have the details of the person who dropped the comment. Make no mistakes, not all comments are being written by human beings. There are comments that could be written by robots. Yes, people actually set up computers to start dropping comments on people's websites, so you want to look out for that. Here you have the details on the left, and then you have the content of the comment, and you also have options to approve or disapprove. You have options to reply, so you can reply to a comment directly from here without having to visit the page. You can edit the information in the comment. I really don't like doing this because sometimes it could be against the policy of your website, and having to tweak someone's comments is actually very wrong. The only thing I do here is that if the grammar is wrong, I could correct it without altering the real intent of the person writing that comment, because it helps that you have comments with good English on your website. So that is what I do. Apart from that, I'll just move on. And now this is where you can have a full editing capabilities on the comment. This quick edit will just give you just a few options, and it's easier to use the quick edits because at that point you don't have to go off of this page and then come back to it. And then what you have here is the page where the comment was dropped. So I can click on the view post here to view that page, and this is the number of comments that you have on that page. Okay, all right, number of approved comments actually. And then this red one, I think the red dot is actually shows you the a number of comments awaiting moderation, right? So, and that is that about this page. So how do you know the comments that you should approve and the comments that you shouldn't approve, comments that shouldn't be on your website? Now, once I get a comment on my website, the first thing I look out for are the details of the person writing that comment. So this will tell me if this is a real person or is not a real person, or if this comment was dropped just for the sake of gaining popularity, because some people come to your website and drop comments just so that they can have a link back to their own website. All right, so if I visit this page, this is the comment section. All right, so this is the comment section, and because I am logged in already, this is all I will see. Now, if you're logged into your website, this is what you will see, but that is not what all users see. So if someone is not logged into your website, all right, let me just show you what they'll see in a bit. And then I'll go to blogs, and then I'll click on, let me just see that page a little bit. Let me just see this page. This is the how to engage the whole family post. So let's just go back. Now, if I'm not logged into the website and I visit this page, this is what I am saying. There is a name, there is the email, and there is the website. So some people come to your website, they drop a name, they drop an email, and they drop a link back to their own website, and then they drop a comment. So don't be carried away by the content of the comment. Sometimes you need to look out to see if this person is just there to drop a link back to their own website. So I kind of limit comments to I kind of limit the comments on my website. If it's about tutorials and something like that, I like to have comments that are directly about the topic, okay, and not just some, oh, thank you, this was great, and then they leave a link to their website. I have it. I know that the content is great, so if you're just here to leave a link to your website, I won't approve it. So I look at this, and this type of comment, obviously it looks like it is a link back to the person's website, because you have website name and then you have a kind of link here, and you may be asking yourself, what can this link do? Let me show you. If I click on this right now, it will actually take me to that link. All right, well, let me just reload that in a bit. So this is this, and then if you hover over it, it changes to a hand, which shows you that this is a link. If I click on that, it will take me straight to the person's website. So that's what people do when dropping comments on the website. So you want to look out for that, but that does not mean that whenever someone has a link, that it's taking them back to their own website. What you want to do is that you want to make sure that this is not a link to a bad website, or that somebody is not simply dropping a comment just so that they can have a link back to their own website, because this will help you protect your users from bad websites, and also help you keep a clean website that search engines will love. The other thing you look at is the content of the comment. Reading the content of the comment will tell you if this person is here is actually dropping comments after they have read what you posted, or if they're just dropping comments to get attention back to their own website. So, and that is that about the comment section. So we quickly move to the next thing on the list, which is the theme. Now, depending on the theme that you're using, we are using the Neve theme. Things could be different. So things will be different depending on the theme that you're using. So once I hover over this, what I have here are the options from the theme. Okay, so from right there, Neve's child options, customize. I could customize this theme from here, and these are the templates that I can use on the theme, created by the theme owners themselves. And there's a library for my customized media files, custom layout for the themes, for the theme, and then the about us, and this should be about the theme, and this is where you could upgrade to the premium version of the theme. So that's just what you have there. And then the other thing that you have will be your appearance. This is where you go to customize and make changes to your website. And the first option you have there is themes. This is where you go to change the themes that you have on your website. This is the original theme, and this is the child theme. There is a reason why we use child themes, and some people do not do this, which is not such a good idea. And we showed this while setting up the website. So if you need a link, if you need to watch how we set up a child theme to make sure that what goes on with our parent theme does not disrupt what we have done with our child theme, you can watch the video. I'll leave the link in the description actually on how to set up your website, set up a child theme to do it properly. So it's not just simply finding a theme and activating it on your website, it's advisable that you create a child theme. And then if you want to add a new theme, this is where you can add a new theme. So you could decide to get a new theme from the WordPress theme session, or you can decide to upload a theme that you have already downloaded to your computer. So the next option you have there is the customize button. So with the customize button, you have the option of customizing and making a whole lot of changes to your website. Also, you have the widgets. This widget option helps you add or remove a widget to or from your website. So this widget option is what allowed us to add something to the sidebar here, right? So that's what widgets are for. You also have footer widgets, and these widgets could look different, and where the content from the widget appears on your website depends on how you set up your website. And that is that, and that's that for the widget session. And then there is the menu. This is the menu section. I'll just go ahead and open that. So if you want to make changes to the menu section of your page, you could have a primary menu at the head of the website. You could have a footer menu. So we do not have a footer menu. All we have here are links, okay? And all we have there are links. Now, if I just decide that I don't want the about me section at the top, I don't want contact, I don't want I should leave contacts, I don't want the privacy policy and the blah blah link, I don't want them up there, that I want them at the bottom, or maybe because I already have them at the bottom and I don't want them at the top there, I can use this menu option to actually change what happens up here. So let's say the about me page or about me section, I want to remove that. I want to allow the blog, contact, I want to leave that there. Privacy policy, we already have that at the bottom, so I want to take it to the bottom. This is useless, so I want to remove it. So what I can do is that I can add categories to the top of the page, so it's easier for people to navigate through the page. So what I can do is that I can come to category and do this. Once I mark it like that, I can then add it to the menu. That has been added. I want it to be closer to the home page, and then I'll save that. I'll just do the save menu. And once that is done, I come here, I reload my website, and there you have it. So if someone comes to my website and wants to read things about content creation, they can always go to this category and find all the pages that I have assigned the content creation, that have assigned the content creation category. So that is what you can do with your menu. Sometimes you could decide that something like website setup. I'll just go ahead and leave the link text, get the link text up there, so that I'll just add that to the menu, bring it up there. Okay, so that's that. I'll just save it. And that is what you can do with your menu: home, website setup, content creation, blog, contact, and all of that. So just in case I want a sub menu, let me just make this a sub menu under home. I can just drag that and just indent it to the side right there. And then if I reload that, this is what you see. There is that small button icon to the right of the home page, and once someone hovers, it shows you a drop down. It gives you a drop down right there. We used to write code for drop downs, but with WordPress you just drag something and you have a drop down right there. So that is what you can do with the menu. And then there's a theme file editor. This is where you can add code to your website. Yes, I understand. So you can add CSS code right here, or you could add a code to the header or footer or wherever you want on your website using PHP. All right, so if you don't know what's going on here, please do not make any changes to this. So the next thing that you have will be plugins. So like we've mentioned, the plugins extend the functionality of your WordPress website. So you can protect your website by simply adding a plugin. You can help speed up your website. You can add Google Analytics to your website with a simple plugin, and you can help use plugins to design your website. All right, so for example, this image here is the function of a plugin. So I can change this image in one place and it will be changed all across the website. So plugins help you. You can have a plugin to back up your website, to optimize the images and the files on your website and all of that. So you can add a plugin by simply clicking on the add plugin there, and you can decide what kind of plugin do I want. Email marketing. This is not advisable. What I actually ask people to do is that you conduct research on what you want first before you come down here to actually install. So please do not just come to the plugin page and just install any kind of plugin that you want. Do research on email marketing before you come back to your website to install the plugin that you have found to be most useful. Or do you need a contact form? You can always use a plugin to put a contact form on your website, and that is that. Plugins are just cool, they're just simple, they're just easy, you know. You can always use a plugin to make your menu sticky or any element on your website to be sticky. So plugins on WordPress, they're just cool. Even if you want to sell product on your website, you can always look for a plugin that helps you do that. Everything you need to launch an online store in days and keep it going for years. So plugins are just cool, and that's what you do with plugins on WordPress. So you can edit the code in the plugin using the plugin file editor. Not edit the code per se, but you can add code or do things like that with the plugin file editor. So let's just go. So the next thing that you have is the users. So this is where you can add or remove users to your WordPress website. So in case sometimes you could decide to outsource content. All right, when you outsource content, you can have the option of having those people, of having the person you gave the job to add the content directly into your WordPress website. So you can always add them as a new user, give them a username, add their email, first name, last name. Now, something that you want to do is that you don't want to give them the administrator role, because right there they will have the admin access to your website and they can kick you out and take over your website. And then also you don't want to give them the editor role, because there are some plugins that give too much control to website editors. But something I like to do is to give them the author role, and if I need them to use a certain plugin, I'll just go and give them access on that plugin only and not all across the website. So this is what you can do with the users section. You can add and you can remove users from this, and right here is where you can manage the profiles of the users on your website, including your users. You can manage your own profile, excuse me. This is where you can manage your profile and make changes to what you want people to see on your website. And then you have tools. Now there are all kinds of tools here. It just depends on what you want to do with your website. You can import content, then you can export your content. This is very useful, just in case you're moving content, or for importation, you can import content from your Blogger website to your WordPress website. And then there is the export, and but importing content from Blogger is not just that easy. So if you don't want to lose the links from your old website, there are steps that you must follow to make sure that you don't lose links from your previous website. And then you can export content. You can check the site health right here. This is where you have a summary of the things that are going on your website. This actually looks good, but if there are critical issues that you should take care of, you will find them here where you have site health. This is where you could export personal data or erase personal data. Okay, so if someone requests that they remove their personal information, remember we added a privacy policy to our website, and then sometimes users could want you to remove their personal data from your website. So to comply with that policy, you can always erase the person's data using via email. So whatever information linked to their email was stored on your website, you can come here and erase that data. And this is where okay, all right, so depending on what kind of plugins you use, you can find an option to make changes to that plugin on that tool. So this is for the child themes plugin that we added. So that's why you have child themes there. And the next thing you have here is the settings. So this is where you can make a lot of changes, right, in general, in writing, in reading, in discussion. So we did a lot about this already in the video about setting up your website, which is the same video we've been talking about. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description. There is a media, there's a permalinks, a privacy policy, and this is from a plugin. So once you are done with the default WordPress options, the next thing that you will have under settings will be options from plugins that you have installed, like the GA, like Updraft, like the Breeze, and that is that. And after that, the rest of the things you have to will be options from plugins that want you to access their settings from here. Right, so that is that about the basics of WordPress. Those are the things that you need to know about your WordPress environment. I hope this has made it easier for you to understand WordPress. So if you have learned anything, go ahead and hit the like button, and please subscribe to this channel so you do not miss out on all the good stuff that we always have coming your way. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great time. Thank you for watching.